Hey, welcome back to English Audiobook Summaries, the channel where we take the best ideas from the world's smartest books and hand them to you in plain, simple English. If you love learning about productivity, psychology, business, and the kind of ideas that actually change how you live your life, but you don't have hours to sit down and read, you're exactly where you need to be.
We do the reading. You get the results.
Go ahead and hit subscribe if that sounds like your kind of channel, because we drop new summaries every single week. Today, we're breaking down one of the most talked about books in the last decade. It's called Deep Work, written by computer science professor Cal Newport. And once you understand what's inside it, you'll never look at a busy day the same way again. Let's get into it.
Chapter 1. The skill everyone is losing.
Think about your last few mornings. You probably woke up, grabbed your phone before you even sat up in bed, and started scrolling. A few emails, a couple texts, maybe some news. By the time your feet hit the floor, your brain had already absorbed more information than someone from 100 years ago would see in a week. And that pattern doesn't stop. It just keeps going, all day long. Notification here, ping there, a meeting, a Slack message, another tab, another distraction. We call this being busy. Cal Newport calls it something else entirely. He says something interesting is happening because of all this noise. The ability to sit down and focus completely on one hard task without letting anything pull you away is disappearing. Fewer and fewer people can actually do it anymore. And here's where it gets interesting. Whenever something becomes rare, it becomes valuable. Picture two coworkers. Same job, same experience, same intelligence. One of them checks his phone every 6 minutes. The other closes his laptop's notifications, puts his phone on airplane mode, and disappears into his work for 2 straight hours. Who do you think finishes the harder project first? Who produces work that actually makes people stop and take notice? It's not close. Newport gives this ability a name: deep work. It means giving one task your complete, undivided attention for a real stretch of time without letting anything interrupt you. No multitasking. No, just one quick check. Just you and the problem in front of you. When you're in that state, something shifts. Your thinking gets sharper. Ideas connect faster. Problems that seemed impossible an hour ago suddenly start making sense. Compare that to how most people actually spend their day. Answering emails during a meeting. Replying to texts while writing a report. Bouncing between 15 browser tabs because sitting still for more than 4 minutes feels almost impossible now. By 6 o'clock, they're wiped out, drained. And when you ask what they actually built or created that day, they kind of freeze up. Because the honest answer is, not much. Newport calls that shallow work. It fills your hours. It doesn't fill your life. Here's the part that should get you excited, though. Deep work isn't some rare gift handed to a lucky few. It's a muscle. And muscles grow with training. Every time you push through the urge to check your phone, that muscle gets a little stronger. The work that used to feel impossible starts feeling manageable. Then easy. Then, eventually, it becomes the thing that sets you apart from everyone still stuck refreshing their inbox. So here's the real question hiding behind everything you just heard. While most people keep chasing every buzz and beep on their phone, are you willing to be the one who trains this instead? Because if you are, the next part of this video is going to show you exactly how. Chapter 2. 4 Ways to Build It. Here's a myth worth killing right away. There is no single, correct way to practice deep focus. Newport actually pushes back hard against that idea. Your job, your family, your energy levels, your personality. None of that looks like anyone else's. So why would your focus routine? Instead of one rigid formula, he lays out 4 different paths. Pick the one that actually fits. Your real life, not somebody else's highlight reel. The first is what he calls the monastic approach. Picture a novelist named Michael. Instead of trying to squeeze writing time between phone calls and errands, he rents a small cabin outside Boulder, Colorado for 6 weeks. No Wi-Fi, no notifications. Every morning, coffee, morning drink page. Nothing else exists until the writing is done. By the time he drives home, he's finished more meaningful work than most people manage in an entire year. Now, be honest. Most of us can't just vanish into the mountains for a month. But you don't need 6 weeks to borrow the idea. Even 2 hours with your phone in another room can completely change what you're capable of. The second is the bimodal approach. Meet Sarah, a software engineer up in Seattle. Monday through Thursday, she's fully available. Meetings, team check-ins, all of it. But every Friday, from 8 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon, her calendar is locked. Nobody messages her. Nobody schedules over it. Those 6 hours consistently turn into her most productive stretch of the entire week. She's not choosing between teamwork and focus. She's just giving each one its own separate lane. Third, and probably the most realistic one for most people, is the rhythmic approach. David, a financial analyst in Chicago, does the exact same thing every single weekday. 7 a.m. sharp, same desk, same notebook, same cup of coffee. Phone left in the other room. 2 hours, no exceptions. After a few weeks of repeating it, something changes. He stops needing motivation to start. His routine makes the decision for him before his brain even has a chance to argue. And that's the real secret behind consistency. When your schedule decides for you, your willpower gets to rest. The fourth is the journalistic approach, and it's the hardest one to pull off. Imagine a marketing consultant in New York whose calendar changes hour to hour. The meeting ends early. A client cancels. Suddenly, there's a free hour sitting right there. Most people would grab their phone in that gap. Someone using this approach flips straight into deep focus instead. No warm-up, no hesitation. They've trained themselves to switch on instantly, whenever a window opens. It's incredibly flexible. It's also incredibly hard to master, which is why Newport suggests, build one of the other habits first before you try jumping straight into chaos to focus mode. None of these 4 is the best. The best one is whichever you'll actually stick with. What matters isn't the method you choose. It's that you choose one and you actually follow through on it. And here's something worth sitting with for a second. Newport compares your ability to focus on a muscle at the gym. The first time you try to sit still and think hard for 20 straight minutes, it feels almost unbearable. Your mind wants to check something, anything. But every time you push through that itch, you're adding weight to the something. Weeks in, 20 minutes turns into an hour. Then 2. What once felt impossible starts feeling like nothing at all. Now that we know how to build focus, there's a quiet enemy working against you every single day, and most people don't even notice it happening. Chapter 3. The Trap That Feels Like Progress. Ever finish a long, exhausting day, and when someone asks what you actually got done, you just kind of stall? You're not alone. And according to Newport, this happens because of one sneaky mix-up. We confuse being busy with being productive. They are not the same thing, not even close. He calls the culprit shallow work, the stuff that keeps your hands busy, moving without asking much of your brain, answering emails, Sitting through meetings, that could have been a text. Organizing files, replying to Slack pings all day long. None of that is worthless. Some of it genuinely needs to get done. The trouble starts when it does, swallows your entire day whole. Picture two employees at the same company. Alex spends his whole shift answering messages, hopping between meetings, and staying on top of everything. By 5 o'clock, he's exhausted, and he hasn't actually built a single thing. Down the hall, Emily blocks off 2 hours, closes her door, and designs a proposal that ends up landing the company a 7-figure client. Who created more value in their day? It's not even a fair fight. Here's what makes this trap so dangerous. It feels good while it's happening. Every email you're clearing out gives you a tiny hit of satisfaction. Every notification feels urgent. Every meeting makes you feel needed. Your brain reads all that activity as progress. But you're not moving toward your goals. You're reacting to everyone else's. It's like sprinting on a treadmill. Sweat pouring, legs burning, heart pounding, and you haven't moved an inch. And there's a hidden cost most people never think about. Every time your phone buzzes, your focus doesn't just pause, it resets. Studies on this show it can take several minutes to fully get back into deep concentration after even a tiny interruption. Now multiply that by the 50 times. Your phone buzzes before lunch. That's why you can spend 8 hours working and still feel like you accomplished nothing. You didn't do hard work. You just switched gears over and over until your brain was fried. So how do you actually climb out of this? Start by asking one honest question. Before you touch any task, does this actually move me closer to something that matters? If yes, give it your full attention. If not, ask whether it really needs you at all. Some of it can be delegated. Some can be automated. Some, frankly, can just be ignored. Saying no to the unimportant stuff isn't rude. It's one of the smartest moves you'll make all week, because every no to something small is a yes to something that actually counts. And protect your best hours, like they're money in the bank. Most people burn their sharpest, most energized hours of the day on their inbox before they've even started anything meaningful. Flip that around. Spend your first hour or two on the thing that actually matters. Check email after, not before. The goal was never to erase shallow work completely. That's not realistic. Anyone with a real job. The goal is balance. Let the shallow stuff support your bigger mission instead, of quietly becoming your whole day. But even once you get shallow work under control, there's still one thing sitting in your pocket right now, fighting for your attention harder than anything else on this list. Chapter 4. Who's really in control of your attention? Quick question. How many times have you already picked up your phone today? You meant to check one message. Somehow you ended up 30 minutes deep into a scroll you don't even remember starting. Sound familiar? Newport isn't out here saying technology is evil. He's not telling you to throw your phone in a lake. His point is simpler and, honestly, a lot more useful. Don't let an app decide how. Your attention gets spent. That decision belongs to you. Because in this economy, your attention is the product. And a lot of very smart, very well-paid people are working around the clock to take it from you. Think about it. Infinite scroll, autoplay, push alerts, feeds built from data on exactly what keeps your thumb moving. None of that happened by accident. Every one of those features exists because keeping you glued to the screen makes somebody money. It's basically a casino. No clocks on the walls, no windows, bright lights, or exciting sounds. Every detail engineered to keep you there just a little bit longer. Social media runs on the exact same blueprint. Newport suggests borrowing a mindset from old-school craftsmen. Before a skill. When a carpenter buys a new tool, he asks one question: will this actually make my work better? If yes, he buys it. If not, he walks right past it. Apply that same test to the apps on your phone. Does this thing genuinely help you learn, build, grow, connect? Or is it just filling empty seconds with noise? Picture Jake, a marketing consultant in Boston. Before his feet even hit the floor, he's already opened Instagram, then TikTok, then Reddit. By the time breakfast is over, his brain has absorbed hundreds of unrelated little pieces of information. When he finally sits down to actually work, his focus feels scattered into pieces. Now picture Olivia, same job, same city basically. One rule: no social media before lunch. Her mornings belong entirely to her goals. By noon, she's already finished the most important work of her day, while Jake is still trying to find his footing. Same 24 hours, completely different results. The gap isn't talent, it's attention. Here's a challenge worth trying. For 30 days, cut every optional app that isn't directly helping you hit a real goal. Not forever, just a month as an experiment. Then pay attention to what actually changes. Are you calmer? Sleeping better? Getting more done? Thinking more clearly? Most people who actually try this are shocked. They don't miss the apps nearly as much as they expected. What they miss is the habit of reaching for them, and habits, annually, can always be replaced with better ones. And think about this trade honestly. Every hour spent watching someone else's content is an hour you're not spending building your own life. 2 hours a night scrolling could. Instead, go toward learning a skill, starting something, reading, moving your body, or just being present with the people you love. Run that trade for a year, and the difference is enormous. One more small fix that makes a bigger difference than people expect. Go through your notifications right now and turn off everything that isn't genuinely urgent. Every buzz is a tiny tap on the shoulder pulling your focus away. Cut the ones that don't deserve it, and you'll notice your concentration improving within days. Technology is an incredible tool when you're the one steering it. Deep work really starts the moment you do. Stop reacting to your phone and start deciding, on purpose, where your attention goes. So we've covered protecting your focus and taming the noise. But even with a silent phone sitting face down on the table, there's still one more piece missing. How do you actually make sure deep focus happens every single day instead of just on the days you happen to feel motivated? Chapter 5. Stop waiting for motivation. Ever start your morning with a solid to-do list, feeling ready to tackle the world? And then, somehow, by 6 p.m., half of it is still sitting there untouched. You worked all day. You were busy the entire time. And somehow, the important stuff never got touched. Newport says the issue usually isn't effort. It's that most people are working without any real plan. An email shows up, they answer it. A notification pops up, they check it. Someone throws a meeting on the calendar, and they show up. By the end of the day, they've spent 8 hours reacting to other people instead of building anything of their own. His fix sounds intense at first. Schedule every single minute of your day. Stick with me here, because it's less rigid than it sounds. Planning your time this closely. It doesn't trap you, it frees you. You're the one deciding where your attention goes instead of letting whatever pops up first steal it. A to-do list tells you what needs doing. It never tells you when you're actually going to do it. So the easy stuff jumps the line every time, and the hard, important work keeps getting pushed to tomorrow. Days turn into weeks. Your biggest goals stay frozen in place. This is where time blocking comes in. Instead of a vague list, your calendar becomes an actual map. 9 to 11, build the marketing plan. 2 to 2:30, clear the inbox. Every hour has a job. Every block is a small promise you've made to yourself. Take Ethan, a graphic designer out in Austin. For years, he opened his inbox first thing every morning. One email turned into 10, turned into Slack, turned into meetings. By lunch, he still hadn't touched his real project. He wasn't lazy. His priorities just kept getting hijacked before he even had a chance. Then he tried time blocking. 8 to 10 client projects. 10 to 10:15, coffee. 10, 15 to 11, feedback review. 11 to 11:30, email. No more guessing what to do next. He just followed the plan he'd already made for himself. Within a few weeks, his output nearly doubled. Not because he worked longer hours, because every hour finally had a purpose. Here's something worth remembering. If you don't decide how your time gets spent, somebody else absolutely will. Your inbox has an agenda. Every app on your phone has an agenda. The only question is whether you have one too. And don't panic about flexibility. A schedule isn't a prison sentence. Things come up. Meetings get canceled. Emergencies happen. Plans shift. When that happens, you just move the blocks around and keep going. The goal was never a flawless schedule. It's staying intentional, even when the day gets messy. Ever notice how? Do elite athletes follow the exact same pregame routine every time? Musicians warm up the same way before every show. Why? Because routines take decision-making off the table. Every tiny choice, check email or not, start now or in 10 minutes, quietly drains your mental energy before real work even begins. Build yourself a small ritual that tells your brain it's go time. Same desk, same playlist, a specific mug for your coffee. 2 minutes reviewing your goals before you start. It doesn't need to be complicated. It just needs to be repeated enough that your brain starts connecting it with focus. Motivation is unreliable. Some mornings you'll feel like conquering the world, and some mornings you genuinely won't. People who rely purely on motivation end up with wildly inconsistent results. People who build systems keep moving forward, even on the days they don't feel like it. And over months, that consistency is what actually separates the people who grow from the people who stay stuck. We've covered protecting your attention, escaping shallow work, taming your phone, and structuring your time. There's one more piece left, and it might be the most surprising one in the whole book. Chapter 6. The part everyone skips. For years, we've all heard the same tired advice. Sleep less, grind harder, hustle around the clock. Success never sleeps. It sounds motivating on a poster. According to Newport, it's actually backwards. The highest performers he studied don't work every waking hour. They work with real intensity for a stretch, and then they rest just as intentionally. Because deep work was never about clocking more hours, it's about what you actually produce during the hours you're in. Think of your brain like the battery on your phone. Doesn't matter how expensive the device is, hit 0% and nothing works. Every hard decision, every creative spark, every complicated problem you solve drains a little of that battery. Eventually, it runs dry. When it does, your thinking slows down, your creativity dips, and even simple tasks start feeling heavy. Most people assume the fix is more motivation. What they actually need is recovery. A lot of people brag about running on 4 or 5 hours of sleep. The research tells a very different story. While you're asleep, your brain is far from idle. It's sorting memories, locking in what you learned that day, clearing out mental clutter, and getting you ready to think clearly tomorrow. Skimping on sleep doesn't buy you more time. It quietly steals from the quality of every hour you're awake. Here's a simple rule worth adopting. When the workday ends, actually let it end. Don't check your inbox every 15 minutes all evening. Don't keep replaying unfinished tasks in your head. Go for a walk. Cook something. Read a novel that has nothing to do with work. Play with your kids. Sit outside and do absolutely nothing for 20 minutes. None of that is wasted time. It's the fuel for tomorrow's focus. And here's something worth trying on purpose. Get bored. Actually bored. We've trained ourselves to fill every idle second with our phones. Standing in line, on my phone. Waiting for coffee and phone. Riding an elevator for 8 seconds, somehow, on my phone. But your best ideas rarely show up while you're scrolling. They show up on a walk, in the shower, staring out a car window with nothing else demanding your attention. If your mind never gets a quiet moment, it never gets the space it needs to actually create anything. And maybe the biggest shift of all is when you're working, work completely. When you're resting, rest completely. Stop living in the exhausting in-between where you're half working all day and half resting all night. Always a little connected, always a little distracted. Draw a real line. Give your full effort during work hours. Then disconnect afterward without any guilt attached to it. Because rest isn't laziness. It's preparation for tomorrow's best work. So here's where all 6 pieces land. A world full of distraction rewards the rare person who can still focus. While everyone else reacts to every buzz and ping, you get to build something real. While everyone else stays busy, you get to become genuinely productive. And those small daily choices, stacked up over months, turn into something that starts to look a lot like an advantage nobody else has. You don't need to overhaul your whole life overnight. You don't need 12-hour workdays. You just need to start protecting your attention, one focused hour at a time. That 1 hour becomes a habit. That habit becomes a skill. And that skill quietly becomes the thing that sets your work apart from everyone still stuck checking their phone every 6 minutes. Because your future isn't built by how many hours you clock in. It's built by how much real attention you bring to the hours you already have. If you made it this far, that already puts you ahead of most people watching videos like this today. You're not just consuming, you're actually investing in something. I hope this breakdown of deep work gave you a few ideas you can actually use starting tomorrow morning. If this was helpful, tap that like button, subscribe to English audiobook summaries, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next one. New book breakdowns drop every week, all built to help you learn faster without spending hours buried in pages. Now I want to hear from you. What's stealing your focus the most right now? Drop it in the comments. I read through as many as I can, and I genuinely love to know. Thanks for watching. Keep learning, keep building, and remember, every real change starts with one focused hour. See you in the next video.